the other major thing that I wanted to talk about this week was the fact that my boys, Blink-182, are back, baby. I don't think if you're not a 90s kid, I don't know if everyone understands the appeal of Blink-182. I might have talked about it on the pod before. I don't know. But the thing about I think Blink-182 is really an amazing case study of what life is. And I really mean that. Because musically, as the three main members of the band, Tom DeLonge, Mark Hoppus, and Travis Barker, have aged, their music has become increasingly complex and reflective of their state of life. You know, Blink-182 was just a bunch of kids from California who started making fast punk music in their parents' garages. And they have evolved so much since then and gone through so much since then. So I just wanted to do a little walkthrough about why I love Blink-182 so much. Their first kind of single, which didn't really pick up too much, was this song called Carousel back in the mid 90s. And I think one of the appealing things about Blink-182 was they had two lead singers, Mark and Tom, who had very, very different vocal styles and voices. One was quite deep and traditionally sounding. One was more raspy and nasally sounding, which became quite iconic. And I have talked about Blink-182's reunion and their new song that they've dropped on my YouTube channel, which got a lot of views. So go and check those out if you want my thoughts on those. But I'm just doing a little walkthrough here. And, you know, they start growing, they start getting traction, and they have their really big breakout single with Damn It growing up from their album Dude Ranch, I think in 1997. I think the thing about this song, and this song I think epitomizes everything this band is, right? It's an aggressive, fast, breakup punk song. It's amazing. The lyrics are so poignant. I love it. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. It's an incredible song. The lyrics in the song, I guess this is growing up. I want to focus on that because I think that's what Blink-182 as a band reflects to a lot of people. Growing up, getting older, having to cop life and do stuff in your life that you don't necessarily want to do. I guess this is growing up, right? And as they continue, they get signed to a label, they get a lot more polish on their music, and they kind of had their first sort of international global mega hit, which of course was All the Small Things, True Care, Truth Brings. And you know, they become a very big punk band across the world. They become like a pop punk banger band. And if you go back and listen to those first, like particularly that album with All the Small Things, Enema of the State, pop punk classic. Summertime, wind the windows down in the car, I play that album. It's amazing. They followed up with another album, Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, which is, you know, a little bit darker, but it's more or less a copy and paste. I think the label just said, do that again, and you get more classic songs like And I think from there, it's about 2001, 2002. They're getting into their 30s and they're growing up. They're having kids. They're getting married and etc. And I think, you know, Tom DeLonge in particular starts wanting to do more mature music. I think he gets a bit sick of making pop punk music like The Rock Show, First Day. And I think, you know, people are talking about that. Like Blink-182 is just this lame pop punk band. He wants to make proper in inverted commas music. And then in 2003, Blink-182 comes out with their untitled or self-titled album, Blink-182, which is a complete shake-up of the formula. It is my all-time favorite album. For reasons at some point I'll have to explain on this pod, but I could do a 3-hour podcast talking about why that album is so good. But essentially, stylistically, it's a bit different. They have Feeling This. I get goosebumps every time I hear that. And then like, yeah, stylistically different songs like I Miss You. And that after that album is released, the whole band breaks up. Tom DeLonge leaves the band. He says he doesn't want to tour anymore. He wants to be with his family. He wants to make other music, whatever. In 2009, Travis Barker, the drummer in the band, is in a plane crash. Everyone dies except for him. He has extreme burns all over his body. Very fascinating and terrifying story. And the band gets back together because they rekindle, they get back together, and their comeback single is called Up All Night. And I think here's where we start to see, you know, that motif of, I guess this is growing up coming back. And I do think that is, again, the epitome of what this band is. You know, this group of friends from high school who make a band, accidentally become exceptionally famous and popular. All of it becomes too much for them as they all start becoming adults and growing apart. And we all know, like, when you're becoming an adult, you start going in different directions to your friends, or your friends start dating people you don't like, or, you know, people just start going in completely different directions. You're still friends, but you just don't see them as much. You don't speak as much. When you see them, it's good, but, you know, life changes. And this band breaks up. A literal plane crash happens and they get back together because they realize the fleetingness of life. They put out this album, and then Tom DeLonge leaves the band again, or gets fired from the band for not committing to anything. Matt Skiba from Alkaline Trio then joins the band to replace Tom, and they come back with a huge single and album. This song's called Bored to Death. And, you know, there's no sign of Tom coming back. But we do know that after a few years, Mark, Tom, and Travis start talking again. They're friends again. They're being friendly. And there's always conspiracies about Tom rejoining the band, but I never thought it was possible. Flashback to last week, and we get the news. Tom DeLonge has returned to the band 7 years after he left. So he's back for the second time. And it's huge news. It's amazing. And, you know, Mark Hoppus had cancer, and they're coming up to 50 years old now. To get this gang back together, like, they'll be forever associated with each other, but to get together and make a new album and tour the world. I got tickets to the Melbourne show. So I'll be going to the Melbourne show. I cannot wait. And I think their new song's called Edging. It's awesome. Check it out. I love it. I've been listening to it on repeat. But I think what I love about this band, and what I think so many people love about this band, is just the complexities of life and friendship that are evidenced through this band. And again, you know, the music literally evolves from to and that's 20 years of development as a person. You know, this band has a legacy of over 20 years. I think it's 30 years, you know, they've been a band for. And to see that transformation, that evolution from literally being 18-year-old kids writing songs about, you know, being alone and breaking up, to then going on to, you know, writing about like having demons and death and loss and loneliness and isolation, which are all themes that I think particularly that 2003 Blink-182 record examines conceptually in great detail and in musically in such a fascinating way, right? And then now coming up to age 50, getting back together as a trio for the second time, and putting out a song that's just more upbeat and fun and not really giving a shit at all, seeing how things have sort of come full circle for this band who are now, who are now like at peace with what's happened in the past, at peace with what life gave them. And now they put out a song, that's just, a little bit less serious. And I love that lyric as well. Oh no, look at the mess we've started. Because going from the start with Damn It, I guess this is growing up, right? Everything that happens after that, I guess this is growing up is you when you're 18, you're figuring out, oh shit, life doesn't always go the way you want it to. Life doesn't always go to plan. To that lyric there, now they're age 50 and the lyric is, oh no, look at the mess we've started. And I think that lyric is reflective of Blink-182 as a band. It's like, oh, look at this mess we've started. Look at all this shit that's happened in life. Look at this mess, but now we're here. And I think, that is such a poignant reflection on what life is. Just life is just constant moving from one problem to the next, feeling alone, like all of these things, all of the things that this band has experienced, I think we all experience. Fighting with friends, coming back together, realizing that this friendship is more important than whatever the fight was about, all of stuff like that. Wanting time, wanting space from friends, wanting space from different people, wanting to do your own thing, find your own identity, seek your own identity. I relate to it so hard. And I think a lot of people, particularly probably young men, relate to Tom, Mark and Travis and their experiences in life and what they have done and what they've experienced together. Being in a band isn't easy. Being in any working environment isn't easy, especially when you're in such close quarters with other people. I think writing songs together, writing music together, I think that's really tough. And I think to me, that's what Blink-182 is all about. It's about growing up. And I think it's almost like prophetic that they had that song as, 18, 19, 20-year-olds. I guess this is growing up. And that song ended up epitomizing not just their careers and lives, but everyone's lives and everyone's careers. I guess this is growing up is basically just whenever shit's going on in my life, I'm just like, I guess this is growing up. Like, this is life. What do you want to do about it? You just have to keep being alive. Just continue living. And yeah, I just find it super fascinating. So that wasn't particularly funny, but I just, that band means so much to me. So I wanted to do a little tribute to them there.